was just kind of hanging out in the backyard with the dogs, and someone on Twitter asked me, how do you come up with ideas for tweets or content? And so my answer really is, I don't really spend any time trying to come up with ideas for tweets and content. What I do is I watch a lot of people. Thank you, Zap. Essentially, to come up with content, and what I do, and I come up with a lot of different kinds of content, is I just share my ideas of the world, and I watch other people, I watch scopes, I go on Instagram, I go on Facebook, I participate with real people in my community. I follow people who inspire me, and then usually that triggers a dialogue of some sort, just like that tweet triggered the dialogue about this scope. And then it becomes easy to just come up with content because it's very natural. So I think there's a lot of pressure put on people to come up with content. And I think that the more you let that pressure get to you, the more difficult it's going to be. But if you just spend your time really listening to people, you can listen to your clients, you can listen to your friends, you can pay attention to what they're doing and what interests them. And I think that it becomes very easy to open up a dialogue and start sharing things very naturally. The same applies to blogging. You know, if you read what other people are writing about and it's of interest to you, very often you're going to start thinking about it and you might have something to say. And the minute you have something to say, that's when you share your content. And it makes it a lot easier than trying to think of what kind of content you can have. Another thing in business that I do is that I listen to what clients are saying on a regular basis. So I listen to client phone calls from my team, and I listen to what they care about and what they want to know about, and I respond by creating content about it. So if you listen, your natural response will probably be to have something to say or something to think or something to feel about it. And the minute you feel something, that's when you're at your best point to create some wonderful content. And that could be in any field, really. And if you want to do something, if you are working for clients and you don't understand what you could produce for them, or you're having a hard time thinking of what kind of tweets they can have, see if you can't listen to some of the conversations that that client is having with their clients and what the issues are being faced by the service and sales representatives. And definitely going to give you some insight into what you could write about, and it's going to be extremely relevant because you're going to be responding to what's actually happening and what's actually on the minds of your clients' clients. So if you're trying to create content for someone else, try and get into their heads, into their organization. Don't just speak to the marketing people. Speak to the sales people, the people who are on the ground. Speak to the receptionists, and really understand what's going on in that business and what do people value from that business. And when you do that, not only will you be able to come up with customer content, if you will, but you're also going to be able to come up with people content. You're going to be able to share the people in that organization because you're going to get a feel for them. You can't get a feel for people if you don't meet them or you don't see them face to face. The mission statement is not enough. Every organization has an incredible amount of value in what's going on within it. And organizations that are interested in getting social and hiring social media professionals to help them communicate their story online, those organizations likely have a very open mind because they're doing something that's actually quite progressive. And they probably have a story to tell that they have no words to tell it with. So you go in there and you just ask if you can take a look around, understand what's going on there, and you will find your content. I guarantee it. They're going to inspire you and you're going to be able to represent them really, really well. So that's my extremely casual scope. Thank you so much for joining me for some coffee in my garden with my two dogs here. And I hope to scope with you guys soon again.